Y'all gotta understand what it's like being a leader, man. When you're a leader, you can't react off emotion. You have to be very calculated because everything you do, both good and bad, affects the lives of everyone around you and affects the lives of the world. Y'all gotta look at it from a different perspective. There's pictures of the basement level of his church that is flooded. So there's water in his church. On top of that, the news was saying that with each increasing day, the water levels would be rising. That the next day would actually be worse. Whatever the level of the water right now will increase, which means the water will then rise to the upper level of the church and potentially put more lives at risk. Y'all don't know the logistics of his building. Y'all don't know. If anyone was to die coming to his church or to die in his building, he would be negligent. The headlines would be even worse than it is now. Then he would have to assemble men of his church who are already tending to their own families, who are already trying to get their own families to safety. He would have to assemble the manpower to then keep the church open. And y'all know what happened during Katrina. Unfortunately, when they let the people in the football stadium in Katrina, niggas start raping, killing, beating people up, stealing, all types of just straight desecrating that stadium. You would think when given the opportunity to get to safety that people would be at peace, that people would help one another. But women were getting raped in that stadium in Hurricane Katrina when they opened it up as a shelter for everyone to come. It's a church. It's not FEMA. He's not saying try to swim your way through the floodwaters and potentially die to get to my church. He's saying go somewhere that's near you where you can get immediate assistance. Y'all using this whole situation as an agenda post. Then you got the people who just believe everything they hear. Throw it up on any news media site and everybody gonna run with it. When they said Usher had herpes, right? Shorty had zero facts. She had no facts. And she looked like Precious. As soon as the headline went up, everybody just believed it. When Joel Osteen was feeding poor kids in Africa, donating money to schools and different causes, I ain't seen no headlines. And none of y'all saying nothing. This man has been in ministry for years. You know how much this man has done for his church, for his community, and for the world? Half of y'all talking about that man, y'all the same people who get upset when people walk in y'all house with their shoes on. Y'all the same people who got your company walking around the house in socks. And you got plastic on your chairs because you don't want nobody to mess up your new couch. Shut up. Because y'all the most materialistic people I ever seen. Y'all the same niggas that got paper plates and paper cups because you don't want nobody eating off your silverware. Shut up.
Lakewood Church in Houston, Texas has been receiving criticism for not opening up their doors immediately after the hurricane. That's not the entire story.
It's just not a true narrative. I mean, there were safety issues as well. The building was on the verge of flooding, just water right up to our floodgate. So first couple days, it was not accessible for our staff or for other people as well.
People went and photographed the outside of the church, and it appeared as if nobody was at the church. And they wanted to know that if your church was dry, then why weren't you sheltering people rather than Tuesday, say Sunday?
Yeah, the church was not dry. People can't see everything. People from a distance. There's a road right behind me where we have big floodgates where the water was close to coming over. Now that water recedes in 12 or 18 hours, but you know, at the time it was not dry. And in fact, this building flooded back in 2001 when the Rockets had 10 feet of water right behind me down on the lower floor. So, you know, there's safety issues, and from a distance it looks like this church up on a hill, but, you know, there's other issues going on as well. Plus, you know, our staff and building engineers, there wasn't anybody close. You know, my niece was stranded right across the street from this building either Saturday or Sunday, but water can rise very quickly in these bayous.
Were you surprised at the outrage, at the reaction, at how people focused on you and your church?
You know, I don't know if I was surprised. I don't pay much attention to it. I know that sounds naive, but you know what? Social media, that doesn't run our life, and people don't really know what we're doing and don't know all the issues. But, you know, obviously my staff told me about it, but again, life's too short to put energy in the negative and the people that don't understand, and you know, no fault to them, but we're going to run our race and be who we're called to be. Some of those people are never going to like me or our church or person of faith anyway, but I do think that notion that somebody created, oh, we're not open and we can't do that, that was such a false narrative that somehow somebody bought into, and you know, nowadays it can spread, it can go viral, so you know, that's why we're telling our side of the story.
But you didn't have people in basically who were seeking shelter, you did not have people in the church on Sunday, for example, or Tuesday or
No,
Monday.
Tuesday was the main day, but Saturday and Sunday we're not safe here. I can promise you that. Flooding wise and everything else, we have some of our pastors were in floods, had to be rescued, holding their babies for 4 hours in floodwaters, and we somehow found some boats to go get them. But it was a huge storms, and a lot of different issues going on, from safety to just keeping it all together.
Man, he's only a human, man. He's only a man. He ain't perfect. Y'all need to stop following men, and y'all need to follow God. He's a man of God. Men make mistakes. Not saying he made a mistake, but if he did, so what? Maybe he was taking care of his family. Wouldn't that what y'all be doing? Because I know me. I'm going to make sure my girl's straight. I'm going to make sure my kid's straight. I'm going to make sure my mama's straight. And then I help where I can. You understand what I'm saying? Because that's what men do. Man, this your boy Cali, keeping it 100 always. Somebody got to do it.